This is AI Marketing Experts, where bold marketers and next-gen AI collide. Each week, join us as we decode trends, test tools, and share real wins from the AI-powered front lines. No fluff, no hype, just straight talk and smarter marketing. Tap subscribe and let's geek out on AI.
Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of the AI Marketing Experts, and I'm here with my expert friends. We're going to have another one of our jam sessions around the world of AI, marketing, small business, what we're doing to help our clients, what we're doing to help ourselves, what our clients are doing, what their customers are doing, like that whole big tsunami wave that is coming towards us at breakneck speed. And you might be standing on the shore right now watching the water and the tides go out and kind of wandering towards it going, what's happening? And there's other people running the other way going, I don't want any of this at all. So you jump on these episodes, we talk all about it and try and simplify it and make a little bit of sense and make it practical for you all. So with that said, one of the big things we were talking about just before the show started was the browser wars have started. So we talked about a while ago, Perplexity came out with their Comet browser. I think some or most of us got early access to it. And it was like, oh, it was pretty cool because you now have an AI agent that can open tabs and you watch it act as a human being. It looks like opening and getting into stuff. My little claim to fame is I just got back from a bunch of us were in Miami at a mastermind meetup for all of this kind of stuff. And I hate, and if you didn't hear that right, hate planning trips because I care about how much I pay and what hotel I stay in and which flight and what time of day and all this kind of stuff. And I have like, it's like a 3-body problem. I have 20-body problem. I have so many different things trying to figure out and my air mile points. So should I use all of them? Should I use some of them? I got Expedia. Should I do this? Am I going to be better if I go to Hotjar or one of these other places? Anyways, I ranted exactly like that to my Comet browser in Perplexity and said, I will open up these sites. You're going to log in. Like I will log into my air miles and my Expedia. You're going to find either packages. You're going to compare it against individual flights. You can go anywhere else you want in the internet. I'm going to cut the grass. When I get back, I would like a table with your top 3 choices. I want to fly out in the morning on the Monday. I want to take the red eye back home. And I want no layovers at all. I want direct flights, and I don't want to be going to Fort Lauderdale Airport. I actually want the Miami International Airport because the other one always keeps showing up. Blah, blah, blah. I just gave it my rant, walked out, cut the grass. Takes me about an hour and a half to cut the grass. I don't know how long it took. I came back in, and it was ready to purchase. It had said, I recommend this. Here's what I got. And it gave me a couple other backup choices. And I went, no, that's good. Thanks. Well done. And I just finished the credit card part myself, put it through. It used some of my air miles points, but not all of it. It came up with a reason why it shouldn't use all of them and put them all in right now, doing better credit or better points math than I could ever figure out in my life. So anyways, just letting you know, that was my experience with, using an agent in a browser in a really real practical sense. I use it for a whole bunch of other things, but I thought that was a good one. But so I opened up to the panel. We now got anybody who's got a Mac can download the ChatGPT browser, only available for Mac right now, but that's its thing. And we know that everything like Chrome and Edge and all of that, the browser wars have started. So what is your guys' experience so far with agents acting in the sidebar of your browser?
I do just want to say one thing really quick about the ChatGPT browser Atlas, which I am really excited to try. But not only do you need to be a Mac user, but your Mac needs to use the M1 chip that like anything modern uses that. But like for me, my Mac is from 2019, which as everyone knows, Macs last forever. They're amazing. So I haven't upgraded to the M1. I was like, I'm in the last little bit that it's still on the Apple chip rather than the M1. And so anyways, I cannot get the Atlas browser right now. So, I don't know, reason to go, get a new Mac upgrade? Maybe. Yeah.
Black Friday is coming up, so watch out for new moves.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you might get $50 off.
Yeah. True. True. Not much, but so anyways.
So have you used the browser at all, Chris? Have you? I know you use Manus a lot, and you have things that work for you in the background when you walk away, and so you're ahead of the curve than us on that stuff. But the browser is a different experience. It's using the web to find your stuff and show it to you and stuff like that, right? So.
Yeah, I've been using Comet quite a bit lately, and in fact, I've been gravitating more towards it, away from Chrome. I know Chrome has its own thing that you can have a Gemini come up and all that kind of thing, but it's not the same. It won't take over your browser yet.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, like Comet will, right? You can tell Comet take over my browser and do whatever that, kind of like what you explained. I had it do inbox zero for me. It's been the only tool out there that didn't cost like 6,000 credits on whatever platform, to do it. And it did an amazing job. Right. And I've got Perplexity Pro, so it didn't really cost me anything for the most part, other than what I'm already paying in order to do it. The only downside, and I asked it, I said, can you do this, on a scheduled, task? Like, can I set up a scheduled task for this? And it said, no, that it can't do that. Not yet anyways. So, I would prefer that it does it a couple of times a day so that I could just go into my follow-up folder. Right. And follow up with anything and kind of go through anything else that I need to do, the to-do folder or anything like that. But yeah, I use Manus quite a bit for all sorts of things. Mainly lately, it's been coding stuff, right? And I'll show you guys this later if you want to. But I had it create. I was on the airplane coming back from Miami, and of course had Wi-Fi. I was watching the game, right? I was watching. I won't mention which game I was watching, but I was watching a game on there, and I was playing around with Manus, and I came up with an idea. And I just said, let me see if Manus can do this, right? And so the idea was basically an estimator that I could use as a lead magnet, right? For getting clients for my agency. And basically the same spreadsheet that I use inside of the sales process, except in a nice little laid out JavaScript-y type thing, right? Something that if I would have had someone do, it would probably cost me a couple $1,000s, right? But it literally did it while I was in the air. We iterated back and forth while I'm watching the game, mind you, right? On my iPad. Okay. And
on the iPad.
Right. And I'm sure the lady sitting next to me is going, what is he? Because I kept talking to it. No, let's try this, form element, and let's add this form element and stuff like that. I'm sure she was like wondering, what in the world who am I talking to? Kind of a thing. But yeah, so I can show that to you now. I can show that to y'all later if you want to, but it came out pretty cool. I've already handed it off to my team, mind you, and they're executing on it, putting it into a funnel page inside of High Level in order to, run ads to get more people to sign up into our world. So,
I would say show it to us now since we're talking.
Okay, while I'm talking about it. Yeah, sure.
That'd be good.
All right. Let me hang on.
While he's pulling that up too, I've mentioned on some of our previous shows, if you have YouTube Premium, you can ask for a summary of the video. However, if you have the Comet browser, which we can tell you ways to get it for free, you can do the same thing. You can just say, summarize this video, extract key takeaways, scroll to the next interesting moment, everything with the assistant within the Comet browser. So once you have a video open, you just go to the right-hand side, click on a Comet Assistant, and then it's got all these different things that you could utilize it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Okay. So here is the start of it, right? So I just said, hey, I'd like to create an estimator just like on this page. And apparently I'd had something up there somewhat so that it could look at. And then here's a few changes. We just kind of iterated back and forth here. So the end product really is this over here. Like and you just put in some of the inputs, like let's say that, clients wanting to go from 1.5 million to $4 million. Well, based off of their tier of growth, are they in growth mode or are they in profit mode, right? If they're in profit mode, not wanting to spend nearly as much, which that's most, right? Then you can, basically adjust this estimated monthly budget. It'll come down here and you can change out like what your sales process is, because I wanted that in there. So let's say that their sales process, they close, 50% of their estimates to sales, 75% of their appointments go to estimates, and then leads to appointments, people calling them up, is about 50%, right? So this tells us at the end of the day, and I can show this to a client of, well, you need 118 leads a month, right? Yeah. And that's also based off of your average customer value, right? So if you do $25,000 roofs, then we need a lot less leads. Okay. If your sales is horrible, right? Then we're going to need a lot more leads, and you're going to need a lot more budget in order to make that actually happen. And then I had it create an allocation table down here to where we can choose together to build the plan, right? On all of this stuff. Now, the cool thing is we're seeing an early version of this. Let me go scroll all the way back down to the bottom here. This is while I was on the airplane. Mind you, let me see. I had it package it up into HTML code. Bear with me. You can see I went back and forth with it quite a bit. I think this might be the end one. You look down at the bottom and I'll tell you. Nope, it is not down here. Okay, so down at the bottom, I had it create a PDF button, create PDF, and it created a really nice looking branded with my brand, my logo on it thing. So it actually really, really cool. I wish that I had it. We've already installed it on our website. Anyways, this was cool, being able to iterate back and forth and tell it, well, I like this button color, I don't like that button color. Can you, I had it move, like it had the conversion rates over here on the right side. I had it move to the left side. And just a lot of different variations that we went through back and forth. It took me about, plane ride, so about 2 hours to do it. And I got it exactly the way that I wanted it. And I'm able to package it up into this HTML code that is just in one thing. Oh, here it is. All right. So this is the end code, right, that it created. And it's got this cool little
PDF button. Yeah.
PDF button, right? And it basically creates this right here. And this is their plan, which, of course, I've got our link to go schedule a meeting with us if you would like for us to help with this, right? So, but this is just an easy way for them to do a little bit of self-help to figure out, because we're heading into budget season, right?
Yep.
For our clients, right? Our agency clients, we're heading into budget season, and pretty much all small businesses, should be thinking about this anyways for next year, for 2026. So that's kind of where I started from, kind of working from the back, what I wanted as the end result, and kind of started with that. But I created 100% inside of Manus.
That's incredible. Awesome. And a whole whopping 2 hours. Imagine how long that would have taken a year
forever.
Ago.
Yeah.
2 years, like forever. Back and forth with a coder, fire the coder on one of the freelance forums or whatever, even to our clients, or there are people listening here, like, small business owners, you want something on your website like that, get a range estimate for your fence, for your roof, for your, your area rug cleaning, your whatever, like, give exact prices. I'm not a big fan of giving an exact quote by a tool because it's sight unseen, but give a range, give an approximate, same idea there. That would have been, maybe someday we'll get around to it. Let's put it on our 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Or put it on your 2-hour plane ride and you're done. Like, that's insane.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I think we'll continue. I think we're going to continue to see more and more speaking to these browsers or tools. If they want them to be mobile friendly, and we're all just so used to talking instead of typing anymore. I control my house by my voice. You know, most people, or a lot of people, are starting to do that. So just think about these browsers where it's all coming. I mean, we already know that Gemini 3.0 is right around the corner, because that's obviously Google, and you know they have the Chrome browser, and so some little pieces have come out, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a big rollout very soon. And I don't know what the numbers are of how many people use Google Chrome, but it's the majority. And so like John said at the beginning, it's going to be kind of like a browser wars, you know, and we've been around long enough to know that, you know, back in the old days, we used Internet Explorer. I mean, you know, and so then that was the thing that we used, because that was what everybody used. And then it went on from there, and then Firefox, and then Chrome, and, you know, Safari. I mean, there's so many different ones. So where is it going to go? We don't know, but we know it's on a heavy roll right now.
And the next one is going to be like, so again, we'll carry on with this, but the next one is the operating systems, right? So, you know, Microsoft bought into OpenAI at the very beginning. So now you've got operating systems, you've got your entire MacBooks and Apples and all, like, that's, you know, everybody's going, why can't my Siri be as smart as my ChatGPT? That's a conversation happening right now. I hate my Google Home now because I mean, there's a few hacks and mods you can do to try and have it bounce to ChatGPT. But why is Google Home not able to be agentic like your ChatGPT can? You know what I mean? Like, because when you go, hey, Google, what is the price of tea in China? Whatever, you know, well, according to Wikipedia, and off it goes. It's like you do that to ChatGPT. Well, you know, tea start, you know, like you have this conversation. It's entirely, you can interrupt, you can, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's an entirely different experience. And the interesting thing, I think, is because it's consumer focused, we know that adoption takes time. Look at QR codes. We as marketers geeked out. Oh my God, QR codes are the most amazing thing ever. Wait a minute, you have to download a QR code reader app. Yeah, they didn't work at all until the cell phone companies, the smartphone companies said, why don't we just build it right into the camera? Then everybody's got a camera, they can just take it, and all of a sudden it went boom, and everything, QR codes work everywhere. Like, I mean, I now collect the McDonald's, they're having the Monopoly thing here, and it's now, like, I didn't peel and stick and put a board. I just said, I'm not dealing with Monopoly. Now, when I grab my coffee at lunch, I've got two little stickers, and I scan them. It puts it right on the board inside my app and all that kind of stuff. Consumer friendly, easier to use is causes adoption. And these AI systems are becoming easier and easier and consumer friendly. That's why they have the fastest adoption curve in any technology in human history. So hockey stick.
Yeah. What, Brian? I'm sorry.
What do you think, ladies?
With the one thing that I was going to, based on what Chris was showing with Manus and what he's building, Claude has rolled out theirs, and I'm going to share my screen of where you can download. And this is, again, so new that we're going to be exploring it. But the one thing that caught my attention, so you actually have to go to claude.com/download, but it's to bring your Claude to your desktop, and if you are a non-paying Claude user, it still will work for you. But the thing that I found interesting is the fact that you can now take the screenshot and ask it to analyze. So if we are looking at your competitor's site or something that you're intrigued about, you can actually ask it to do a deep dive. So I think as small business owners, this opens up an opportunity of really examining what's out there and how you can use it for your own. And we always say, you know, think outside the box, think of another industry that you might think is killing it, such as the carpet cleaners or the med spas or the automotive, whatever might be killing it. Go ahead and take a screenshot and say, how can we use it in my small business, and reflect and kind of reverse engineer it. So I thought that this would be one that we'll be paying attention to and experimenting with, but I wanted to bring it up for the listeners and the viewers who are wondering, okay, I really like to use Claude. What does it bring to the table? So this is, again, another step that was just rolled out with them.
And I think what ties into that too, real quick, is within Comet browser or GenSpark browser, which I also use, you can pull up a competitor site. So this is for any small business owner out there. Pull up some competitor sites or somebody they're like, man, these guys are so big. I don't even know how they dominate the market. you can pull up their website and literally either talk or type a prompt and just say, can you analyze this company's website and tell me some of the things they're doing behind the scenes for marketing, for this, that, or the other thing. And it will give you a pretty good summary. And you can keep talking to it and say, okay, I see that they're doing this with Facebook ads, and I see that they're offering this special offer. Tell me more, and you can just keep going down that path to find out a lot of information that you couldn't find out before.
I used Perplexity or Comet in a similar way recently, where I actually was looking. I had used Comet to give my team feedback on the white space used in a website. It was so good to actually see that, like, through Comet, that it actually like gave really good feedback that it was like, I would have said the same thing. So it was nice that it was like on point that way as far as the white space goes in a website. But it was nice to think that now my team, they can put in a website. They're like, I think this is ready for that final quality assurance step. Well, they can put it in Comet first and see what it says about, whether it's white space or conversion, optimization, anything like that. And so I think that that's a good use case for small business owners too. If you're using a browser like this, you can have it, not just analyze your competitors, but your own stuff too, and see what it says.
Another use case, you could have something in draft, sent to you in draft. So one of the guys I deal with, Jeff Cross, ISSA, CleanFacts and stuff, he's the editor, the media director of the whole entire ISSA brand. And he like human in the loop. He absolutely agrees that you can create an outline, but write it with your own voice, do all of that kind of stuff. Makes, he wants to be authentic, which makes a lot of sense. And in our world, we don't want just dribble out there, because he eventually gets caught as dribble. But then he does send it off. Like he has a lot of content. He has other people writing stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then it's got to go through editors and proofreaders. And we were talking the other day, and yeah, again, he's using AI to edit and proofread, but imagine if you had it sitting as a draft in, say, your WordPress or wherever you're going to post it, right? And they're all just sitting there as drafts. And instead of having to get it as a Google Doc or whatever and run it through a tool and all this kind of stuff, to just have it in just open that that draft mode of WordPress up or whatever your editing tool is before you go live, and just say, go scan this article, find any errors, find any spelling mistakes, find any, grammar mistakes, find any areas for improvement. It's right there. It's staring at the same screen you are. So a little bit different than now. You don't have all these extra little steps. You now just have it and then you go, okay, cool, thanks, publish, right? And it's just right in there with you. So use cases like that. Think of those ways where, why is a browser better than maybe just a tool? There is another example of why a browser would be better than a tool. So.
And I think those are wonderful points in the fact that it gives our team members, and we encourage, again, small business owners to say, team, you can take ownership of this and get it that much closer. Yes, as humans, we want to be able to sign off and make sure it's finalized, but the team then can take things so much closer to done. And I think it just lifts them up and makes them feel very proud of their work, that they are ready to bring it to you for you to sign off on.
Absolutely.
Interesting. So
go ahead,
sorry,
Chris.
Go ahead. No, I've been kind of trying to butt in here. No,
no, you go.
It's okay. So I love this idea of using an agentic browser, right, to do some QA for you. Right. I absolutely love that, because there are so many, as marketers, we know this, right? That there are so many, we do a website and we're like, did every single page have that phone number on it? Did we make sure that every single call to action? So you have to literally go through and spend a lot of time doing, quality assurance on a website. What if we use something like Comet or, just whatever agentic browser is out there to do those tasks? I think that's an amazing
And just upload the
use
hot
case.
sheet on the hot sheet on the
Yeah.
client to say, hey, by the way, here's my client's data sheet. So, or whatever, or here's my company's data sheet. Our phone numbers, our services, are this, are that. Our must-haves are definitely do not touch or do not state. That just is a PDF or a doc. And you say, you load that in and just say, hey, go check my whole website out. Flip through every single page, find the errors, build me a table.
Interesting. And use this checklist. Right.
Yes.
Like if you could upload like an SOP checklist or something like that, here, use this as your reference.
Yep.
I really love that idea.
Yeah. And that's like when we are working with our clients, we always review their sites. And when it comes down to being able to say especially if it's an older site that was built on a very strong foundation when it was built, it may not have all the key pieces for EEAT that we look for now. And so now we're getting that feedback so that when we're having our reviews with our clients, we're able to say, here's the difference, and have a great discussion with them.
Yeah.
That's good.
Jen, I think it's your turn.
Well, to me, this brings up a whole nother situation that might be for another day. But when I think of my team and everything that we do in marketing, and I know that there's other things like this in small business in general, I do not want to be the one who owns this or thinks of this, for everything. And so if you are a team member, like not maybe we're speaking to the team members here, not the business owners, but like, how are you using this in your job? How are you looking at the possibilities? Maybe this is for the business owners to encourage your team to explore AI, explore how they can use it to be better team members, to do their jobs better.
Absolutely.
An important aspect.
Just being on the show today, it's like getting my wheels turning of, gosh, I never used that or knew it could do that. I mean, this is awesome. So hopefully it's helping other people.
Well, I think with our team members too, to that point, Adobe Max just had some great announcements, as well as Canva. And so when they just did their big rollout of all their stuff, if as a small business owner, you're not the one that's opening up your Adobe files or Canva files to do graphics, you'll want to know that they need to be aware of the newest tools to make their jobs easier or more efficient. So again, asking them, okay, what have you learned about AI? It might be during a stand-up, it might be during your monthly meeting, might be a weekly meeting or whatever. That might be let's have an AI tip, and you bring to the team what you found made your job better, faster, more efficient, more effective. That might be a great conversation, because again, then they can maybe do some cross-training amongst each other. You figure out where it folds right into the mix. And to your point, you don't have to be the owner of all of it. They're bringing stuff to the table that they're excited and they want to share.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, because we talked about on the last episode, one of the other episodes, about how all of this stuff can add up as well. So I'm sure there's people in the background that think the way I do, going, oh my God, this sounds like it's going to cost a lot, because this one's $200, this one's $40, this one's, and then Nancy in the front office wants this, and they want, all that kind of stuff. Part of it is, as you said, Laura, is are you using it? Get into the free versions. How can you use it? Tell me how much time it saved you. So we have a rule around our team now. How did you, we have a end of week check-in about a bunch of stuff they have to get done and quality control their workflow in the company and stuff like that. But what did you use AI for this week? What did you improve with AI this week? What tools would you recommend this week? And it's just a little survey. They have to end of week. We have an end of day check-in and an end of week check-in, and they just have to fill it out before they go. And my ops manager uses that as some ideas around, Yuli on our team is using Gemini right now, and he's got a couple of tools that we do pay for that have AI built into them for SEOs and things like that. So, and here's how we're using them that way. But all of a sudden, our success coach, account manager, Maricel said, oh yeah, but by the way, I started doing this and this and this. And so now it's like, next time we talk, how much time did that save you? How often do you need to do that? Because if that saves enough time and you need to do that a lot, that's worth $10 a month or $20 a month. We could do that math pretty quickly, right? So, but it may not be worth $200 a month yet. So maybe that's where those aggregators we talked about were one of those like chat LLM, Abacus or whatever, where it puts a whole bunch into one. Maybe it's easier to pay $10 for her to have a bunch of things because she needs a video or an image one here and a this there. But somebody else needs to be a power user of Manus. So that's worth $40 a month. Here you go, web dev. Cindy and my team. If you need Manus, go nuts. Go fix some of the PHP code and create your own plugin. Like Chris created his own plugin for WordPress. Like who creates a plugin anymore, right? Anyways, but again, tools like this that can write code. Maybe there's a team member that you do want to spend $40 to solve a problem that would have been hours worth of payroll otherwise. So you can make that business decision really well by knowing the data.
And you'll be able to see what you can eliminate pretty quick because, the brand they used to call them in Canva brand folders and such, but now they have a different name. But that will apply the brand guidelines across anything. And it now has some features that you don't have to download and upload. So we were building the brand kits and brand guides over here. And now if this is an opportunity that we feel like this is going to move us forward using a Canva version, that's going to eliminate some, costs that we had going elsewhere. And again, keeps everybody having that brand message back to what we say every week. It seems like echoed through every single piece that goes out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. We want that consistent with our clients.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, I think we could put a pin in it there. We've got a lot of ideas. Our ADHD brains are going like, holy crap. I guarantee the audience is going, dang, this has got layers. Onion's got layers, Ogre's got layers, and AI's got layers. So with that in mind, I appreciate everybody showing up on the show. If you know anybody else that you could share this with that wants to kind of get into the jam and learn this stuff and get their juices flowing and stuff like that, be sure to share this out. Definitely like, subscribe, comment on whatever platform you're watching this or listening to this on. We love to have you, and we love to have more people meet us where we're at and let us know what you want to hear next. We got some exciting interviews coming up. Being in Miami last week, talked to a bunch of really smart people that we're going to bring on the call or on the shows as well and stuff like that. But with that, I think we're going to wrap this up for now and take care, and we'll see you guys next time.